is up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. It's your boy D Dyson. And last night, watched The Last of Us episode 3. And I can see why people are regarding it as one of the best episodes of TV so far. I think Nick Offerman as Bill did a phenomenal job in playing Bill, like this older guy who is a survivalist and one of those that's always been planning for the post-apocalyptic or apocalyptic era where it was shot beautifully. Like, I know some of these things wasn't for exactly how the video game was, but this adaptation is, to me, like I said, never played the game, so this is brilliant. This looks really good. And I like how this episode opens up where you're still continuing the journey with Joel and Ellie, and how Joel is really hardened by the fact that Tess is gone, and then Ellie kind of talks to him, is like, it's not my fault. You chose to do this. You chose to do this. It's not my fault. So don't hold that against me because I know you will. And in a sense where she's very like hardened, rough. Some people say that it's not like how Ellie is in the game, although she is, you know, very quick-witted in the game, but more of an innocent nature versus Bella Ramsey's Ellie, where it's just hardened, you know. But like I said, never played the game, so this is my only interpretation is Bella Ramsey's Ellie. And to me, she's doing a fantastic, phenomenal job. Now, as they're walking, they see this huge airplane, and it reminds me so much of how much of a kid she is. Like, you know, hey, at least you got to fly in the sky. Like, I've never done that before. You know, never did that in my life. You know, you got to get in an airplane, and just seeing how this is affecting, like, this is a true child of a pandemic that does not know anything before this life. And even in that sense, Joel explains how it started. He was like, September 26, 2003. And I was like, yeah, you could tell, like, that's just etched in his mind. Like, this is really what happened. And it started with the ingredients, with flour, and, you know, if you eggs, and you mix it with eggs, and, you know, it was just a overnight type of thing. Some people were starting to get sick. It didn't happen in the first couple of days. People started getting sick, you know, and pancake mix as well. So I was like, damn. So, and that's exactly what fungi is. It's microorganism fungi that just, and it just takes over. He said, man, started by probably, I think he said like Friday, Saturday. He was like, yeah, it was already done. And he was just like, Monday, the whole world. Like, this is what it looks like now. And that's all he wanted to talk about. So that's why I was telling myself, okay, then you meet up where they get to the gas station. And it's kind of like his rendezvous point to kind of restock on supplies, stuff that they getting through Boston. And Ellie goes off to another room. Ellie, you okay? Yeah. And I'm just telling myself, you know, it's something in there. I feel like it's something in there. And she goes down like a basement portal and starts looking around and finds tampons and was like, score. Like, you know, I'm like, man, you could probably tell she probably knows what this is, doesn't know how to use it, but is like, this is gonna be valuable later. Then she hears that shriek. We're all like, oh, like, do you even have a weapon? No, you don't. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is gonna get intense. But finding out that it's an infected person down there, but he's caved in the rubble, so he can't move. So she gets fascinated with seeing him, and opens up his skin, like looking at him like real close, and seeing how it really doesn't bleed. And then she just like kills one. I think that's probably like her first time killing one. So she just wanted to see like the effect that it will have on her, like, because she always was like, you know, asking Joel in the previous episode, was like killing one, knowing that they were actual people once. And, you know, it was like, yeah, you don't really, after a while, you don't even, that's not even in your mind anymore. Like, these things are out to try to kill you and infect you. So that's what it is. And that's why that was like her first kill. So she kind of was like, didn't think anything of it. Then you move over to Bill, and just understanding, kind of fast forwarding after that, after she sees that graveyard of, you know, after they pass the plane, and she sees that, you know, Joel was like, let's take a different route. I don't want you to see this. And it was just a graveyard full of bones and human bones. And that's when she was like, they weren't infected, were they? It was like, no. So this is what happened, when this was going on, which was, he explains how they were concentrating camping people. Oh yeah, yeah, we're going to take you to the site. He was like, they did, only they wouldn't tell you if it's full or not. So what they would do is take you out into one of these ditches and just execute you. And that's what that is. And it's just bones. And it's just graveyard full of bones. So they just left the bodies there. And that's what made us go to the flashback of Bill and seeing how Bill was a survivalist. When we're seeing him with his cameras, and then it's like his Windows 2000 desktop, how he's operating all the camera's Panasonic. And I'm just like, what a wonderful time that we were in. Jesus. And you're seeing him in a basement, and you're hearing people kind of like above, and it's like, he's like looking up, and he kind of has a shotgun, and they're like, clear, the house is clear. And he was like, so they leave. He's looking on his cameras that everyone is being packed up and they're getting sent away. Then he kind of comes out with his mask because he's like, I don't know what the hell's going on. They're wearing masks, so I'm gonna wear mine. What's going on? So he kind of gets a look at how his whole town is evacuated. And he was that person like, I knew this day was coming. This man had a basement under the basement. And I was like, mwah, basement under the basement. And it just goes into this montage of what he does to booby trap his whole little town, like his whole little block area, of just how he can keep intruders away and how he's a survivalist. He can make his own food, his own vegetables, has to, skin animals, get his meat, plant, food and stuff like that. So he was always in a position where he finds himself where he's very capable of doing things. Then a couple years go by, he finds a man falling into his booby trap. Turns out it's Frank. Now, that's where this whole episode goes into just Bill and Frank, where he takes Frank in, gives him food. Frank is trying to get I'm coming from Baltimore, trying to get to Boston, and ends up falling in love with Bill. And it becomes this love story, of who they are and how Bill is as a survivalist, and how, he booby traps. And then Frank is just that more decadent type of person, and just a gay couple. So, a couple years go by, and Frank is like, I want to spruce up the place. Let's kind of make it my own as well, because this is, I'm with you. I just, just like any couple would. So kind of starts painting different things, and Bill's just kind of like, dude, no, don't mess with stuff. And he finally gets on the radio one day. It was like, yeah, somebody's coming. He was like, wait, what? Like, are you serious? Turns out it's Joel and Tess, and it helps Bill with the contact from the outside world. He still doesn't really like Joel, but he's like, Joel's like, I can help you. I know you got this gun pointed at me, but I can help you get supplies that you need. And, we'll go back and forth, vice versa. Like, you'll be a stopping point for us to help us do what we need to do. So that lasts over a couple of years. And then before Joel left, Joel was like, the Raiders are coming. They're going to know what you have. They're going to come in the middle of the night. They're going to come armed. They're going to come, and they're going to try to destroy everything that you got. So fast forward a couple of years, they finally do. Like, you wake up to it's night, it's raining. It wakes up Frank. All you hear is boom, boom, like boom. You just hear, man, like he had it so tricked out where he had the whole thing like electric fence. If you didn't know the code, you're going to get electrocuted. And he also has flamethrowers. So you just hear these boom, and you just hear gunshots. And turns out Frank goes downstairs. Bill is outside in the rain, just boom, boom, shooting, trying to get him. And it's like a good 7 or 8 of them, trying to intrude on their territory. And Bill ends up getting shot. And I'm thinking Bill's going to die, and ends up being saved. And they go on with life. That was probably like the only time in their life that really happened. But it did happen because Joel really said that was going to happen, and it happened. And fast forward to a couple years, they're older. Frank is in a wheelchair. You don't know what condition he is, but they don't have any doctors. So Bill's been basically taking care of him this whole time. And it gets to the point where Frank is like, dude, just all the pills that I've got, that we've been getting from Joel over the years, just crush them up, put it in our drink, and just let me die in your arms, because I feel like I'm more of a burden now than anything. I'm a shell of myself, that type of thing. So I feel like the way it ended, I was like, okay, and when Joel finally gets there, because they're so old, Joel met them when he was very, very young, like 13 years ago. So now they're very, very old. Joel kind of was like, what's going on? When he finally gets there with Ellie, he knows the code to get in. The gate's kind of like not kept up anymore. It's, you walk right into place. It's not kept up anymore. So it's kind of like, what's going on? Are they dead? What's going on? So Joel gets a sense that, they're gone, because Ellie reads this note, like, if whoever to read this, probably it'd be Joel. So when Joel read it, he had his instructions like, I never liked you, but this is what to do. This is how I was going to do. And this is what it is. And you find out later that they both crushed up because how Bill was like, I can't live without you. I don't know what to do. I never been afraid until I met you. So that's why I was like, yeah, you could tell that he doesn't want to carry on life without Frank. And this is where it differs from the game. From my understanding, Frank ends up hanging himself, and he leaves he leaves Bill a suicide note while he hated Bill for so many years. And that's what makes Bill so upset, so many just frustrated anger. So he's a post-apocalyptic just asshole when it comes to just being out there, shoot first, ask questions later type of person. So that's how Bill is in the game. But in this show, Bill and Frank die together and make it more of a compelling drama than this video game. So you don't have the Bill character anymore after this episode. And to progress the story, because that's what Joel was looking for in the first place, was a car battery. He kept it in the refrigerator, put it in their truck. Joel and Ellie is gone. And then I was telling myself, that's a good way to end it, because I don't know any better versus what the people in the video game actually saw. So I'm telling myself, is that a better way than the video game? Sure, because it was a love story between these two survivalists that lived on their own land and just did their own thing. And Joel would come see from time to time. Joel was just a little bit too late coming back and with Ellie. So that's how they decided to end it. I'm okay with that. I just tell myself, this is a dope episode, because you kind of see a post-apocalyptic survivalist that we've always seen that has those bunkers, and you finally turn out that this is what it looks like when he was right. Like when one of those survivalists that creates those bunkers, post-apocalyptic bunkers, that they were right. This is how they would do things. They'll break into Home Depot. They'll break into the water supply and make sure things is efficient. Break into the gas and make sure that I have gas and how I need to do these things. Have these booby traps everywhere, and just felt safe and secure. They'd be like, this is my own little block. The whole town could be mine, but this block is mine where I'm good. And I like that. That was in itself dope. So you guys enjoyed my review of The Last of Us episode 3. And I'm enjoying every minute of it, because like I said, this is going to win so many Emmys, Golden Globes, Critic Choice. It may be up for the Oscars, the Academies, who knows? But I know it's going to get us there. So, you guys enjoyed my review. Subscribe to my channel. Post a comment down below and like the video. It's your boy, D. Dyson. Peace.